Good evening and welcome to Royal Television. You're watching Sportbox, and mind you that the program comes up every Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays and Saturdays. And today with me on the presentation is Ngui Senator, and yes, we are going to be talking of a lot that is happening in terms of the sports milieu today. And before we get to this to you, what we are talking about, mind you, one of our topic of discussion is the launch of the Northwest and Southwest Regional League for the 2025-2026 season. And equally, we are going to be looking at the postponement of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations right up to the month of July. These are the stories that we are going to be looking at. But before we get to dissect these particular topics, let's take on this break, and when we come back, we are equally going to be talking to Ingil Nelson, one of the communication officers for the Northwest Regional Bureau, to talk to us so far about the preparations in terms of the launching of the Northwest Regional League. Do not touch that dial, as we will be right back. Welcome back to Sportbox on Royal Television with me, Senator Nguni. And just like we told you, we are going to be talking to Ingil Nelson, the communication director of the Food Northwest, alongside board member of the Northwest Region Football League. Good evening to you, Mr. Ingil Nelson, and welcome to Sportbox.
Thank you very much, Senator. Good evening to you. Good evening to all the viewers. It's a pleasure to be live on the program, all the way from the beautiful city of Bamenda.
You can call it beautiful, but talk to us about how is Bamenda doing this evening?
Well, Bamenda is currently in a chantier. Let me put it that way, because we have construction that is going on everywhere in the city, as far as roads are concerned. So it's a very busy city. The only problem is the dusty nature of the city, that we understand, because it's coming with a lot of development.
Definitely, you can say that again. For us to develop our towns, we are going to be facing a little bit of difficulties. And we shift away from the atmosphere of Bamenda. Let's talk about so far what is happening with the Northwest Regional League in terms of the preparations for the launching of the 2025-2026 season so far. Talk to us generally, how many teams are going to be participating in this year's championship?
Well, Sonita, we have a total of 30 teams that are going to take part in this year's competition. Initially it was planned to be 32 teams, but we have 2 teams that did not affiliate to take part in the championship this season. That is Salt United and Rangers FC of Bafut, that were relegated from the Little Championship some seasons ago. So those 2 teams did not affiliate. That is why we are playing with 30 teams at the level of the regional league this season. Among the 30 teams, 8 of them were promoted from the divisional leagues last football season, and so we had those 8 teams have joined the 22 other teams to make up 30, and these teams have been divided into 4 groups. Pool A, we have 8 teams in Pool A, 7 teams in Pool B, 8 teams in Pool C, and 7 teams in Pool D. It was bad this way, because the teams in Pool A are going to be meeting the teams in Pool C, where we get the mini interpose, and the teams in Pool B will meet the teams in Pool D. So we have 30 teams that will take part. And regarding the preparations so far, I think that we are almost 85% ready, with about 6 or 7 days to the launch of the league that is due for Thursday, March 12th. Yesterday, the Secretary General of the league, in the person of the Tambom Elvis, he had a meeting with the Media and Marketing Commission to discuss with them to finalize some strategies so that we can get as many football lovers as possible in the Bamenda One Proximity Stadium. So that is where we are as far as the league is concerned.
And yes, with 85% already gone as of Thursday 12 that is gradually approaching. Talk to us so far about the innovations of the season for this particular year.
Sunita, funny enough, the major innovation this season is that we are going to be playing on a green turf.
Okay.
We've never done that before in Bamenda because we've never had the facility. Yes, to do that. So this is going to be the first time that some matches will be played on the green turf in the Northwest Regional Football League. It has never happened before in the region, and so many of the clubs are looking forward to that because this playing at the Bamenda One Proximity Stadium is equally going to give some financial benefits to these teams. So some matches of the group stage after the launching on Thursday, some group matches will be played at the Bamenda One Proximity Stadium, while we are equally going to be using the government school field in Nibunga, somewhere in Haifo, as well as the fields that we have in the University of Bamenda. And another innovation is that every player is going to have a unique JC number. If Sonita plays on the one with JC number 10, that means Sonita is going to use JC number 10 throughout the season. And the reason we know it's difficult for clubs financially because subventions are not coming. But then if subventions are not coming, we cannot continue depending on these subventions. We have to be looking for means to get sponsors who can invest in the league. And one of the criteria to get a sponsor is for this league to have that marketing capability. Yes. If we give players the opportunity to sell themselves by having a unique JC number, if a scout is coming to the field, these players, they don't have their names behind their JC. A scout can just recognize a player by the JC number. Because we equally have a memorandum of understanding as of now with a scouting firm that is based in Ghana, and have donated, forgetting the name of the camera, but the camera is AI motivated, something like that. It follows the ball, it works automatically and things like that. So all matches that we play at the Bamenda One Proximity Stadium, those matches are going to be filmed all 90 minutes. The matches are going to be live on the Regional League Facebook page. The matches are going to be live on GP Media Television in Bamenda, and we are equally going to have those matches updated in the database of that scouting company. And it gives the scouts the opportunity at any given time, if they want to follow a particular player with JC number 10, they just need to go back into their videos and look for the actions of JC number 10 from the database of that we are going to put at their disposal. So that's another innovation that the league is struggling to implement, and we're happy that some clubs are embracing it and are promised to try as much as possible to ensure that that their players are going to have unique JC numbers throughout the season. You know, at the level of the regional league, the rules and regulations are clear. It's a maximum of 35 players per team. Yeah. So if you have up to 35 players, then all you need to do is just buy 35 jerseys and remember them 1 to 35 and ensure that a player has a particular jersey number throughout the season. So those are some of the innovations that we are putting into place. And lastly, after the meeting of yesterday, we came to a conclusion that we are going to have, at the end of the season, we are going to have regional league awards. Okay. We are going to have the Northwest Regional League Awards. It's going to be a gala evening that will bring together so many promoters, so many players, so many football actors in the Northwest region. This is our own way to sell the image of this player. These are things that potential sponsors are looking forward to. These are things that sponsors will want to see before putting their money into the championship.
Definitely, I am not just creating visibility for the team, but equally for these 11 players that will be battling each other. And for that reason, we want to say congratulations equally for the Northwest Bureau. But away from that a little bit, can we say that this year we are not going to have licenses issues in terms of the Northwest Regional League?
Well, so far, I should say from the update that we had during the General Assembly of the League that took place last week, last year in Bamenda, the updates were quite encouraging.
Okay.
Yes, we had 6 clubs out of the 30 who had not inputted a single license in the system. At that level, we cannot blame the league, we cannot blame the federation, because it is a club that have not put any license in the system. But as of now, I think that those clubs they are struggling to compile to input their licenses into the system. And for the past, since the start of this week, the national office have been treating the licenses, and many of these clubs, they have been collecting their licenses already from the regional bureau. So I don't think that if any club will have issue with licenses, then I think the first person to have the blame will be that club, because with few days the start of the championship, some clubs are still to even input their documents into the system. Then we cannot go blaming the federation or blaming officials of the league for those kind of teams not having licenses.
Definitely, and even when there was a tentative date for the league to have started, I'm sure that was last month ago, around the 25th.
Yes. So and imagine that if the league had started on that day, where would these clubs have been? You would have been still having the blame games. But I'm confident. Okay. I'm confident that at the level of the Northwest region, it's going to, we might have 1 or 2 clubs who have issues with licenses on the first day of play. But I'm sure when we get to the second, third day of play, everything is going to be regularized.
And definitely, you've been part of this bureau. We saw a distribution of materials to the men in black. What does it mean to them?
Well, there have been a lot of cry in this region.
Okay.
Regarding the payment of referees and things like that for the past seasons, because from what the authorities of the league are saying, is that they have not received their subvention from the national office and things like that. Okay. So there have been a lot of cry that referees are not being paid. But on a personal note, or as a journalist, I always say that when you are working and you are not being paid, it's preferable to leave the work rather than continue working and you are crying on the social media, because none of these referees, none of them, they have an association, but they don't even come together in that association to officially put those complaints together, and they complain on the social media and things like that. But yesterday, the referees ended their 2 days refresher course. Okay. That was organized by the regional bureau in collaboration with the referees appointment commission that is headed by a former FIFA referee, Bless Juven. You know, he's now retired, so that's why he was given that position. So at the end of that, the 4th vice president of ECAPO, who happens to be from the Northwest region, donated two sets of jerseys per referee.
Okay, beautiful.
So it was 2 sets per referee. Although it did not go round to everybody, but they gave it to the old referees who validated the test.
Okay.
Who validated the physical test. Those are people who are sure to play at least the first, second, third, 4th day of play, while the catch-up is organized for those who were unable to validate the physical test. So the donation of the materials came as a sign of relief, because the guys have been suffering for a very long time. They are not being paid, and if someone can donate materials to them, then I think it's a gesture worth applauding.
Definitely, you can say that again. And looking at the lovely population of the Northwest region, especially when it concerns football, what message do you have for them, especially when we are less than a week to the launch of the Northwest Regional League?
Well, in the Northwest region, we always say that we don't qualify teams through the back door.
Is that a blow?
That's what we always say in the region. If you listen to the president of the Northwest Regional League, Mr. Jeffrey Passy, anytime he has the opportunity to talk about the Northwest region, he always reiterates the fact that football in the region is played on the pitch. It's not played in his office, it's not played in the SG's office. If you want to represent the region, play on the pitch, win your match on the pitch and qualify. You know, last season everybody was expecting Manco United to be champion of the Northwest Regional League. But they did not even get to the finals. But if it was in a setting where we were using the office to push teams to qualify, then Manco United would have been the champion. That's one good thing about the Northwest region. But at the start of each season, we always have teams that are favorite. Like this season, Manco United has done a multi-million francs recruitment exercise. In fact, all the best players in this Northwest region are playing for Manco United. We have Dream Team, the champion of last year, that have equally done some recruitment and have maintained some of their players that they had last season. We have Option Sports Academy of Bamenda. It's a very young squad full of talented players. Majority of their players for the past 2-3 seasons are still part and parcel of the team. So you can imagine that we have about 3, 4, 5 teams that will be calling for the trophy. They are equally teams that we have not even watched them train. We have not even watched them play during this pre-season.
Especially the newcomers.
We are going to be discovering them when the league begins. So it's going to be a very competitive season. And as usual, we want to encourage the fans of the Northwest Regional League. It's always the best league in the country. We want to encourage them to continue to be responsible and to continue to support the players of this region. In fact, whenever we have a match at the Bamenda One Proximity Stadium, they should know that those are matches that require that they should pay gate taking before they enter. And it is just a small way to support the guys who are giving us the spectacle.
Very important. Before you go, we are going to be having Hilltop Strikers and the likes of Manco United in terms of the lottery. What is your prediction for that particular game?
So I have a special affiliation with Hilltop Strikers.
So you have forgotten about Young Squad. Can you remember your video?
Young Squad is now at the level of the regional league. I work for Hilltop Strikers.
Okay.
So I have a special affiliation for them. But then, like I said earlier on, Hilltop Strikers, they are coming into the season now as an underdog. For the past season, they have been title contenders. But this season they are coming just to take part in the league. Yes, they are coming just to take part in the league. But I'm not going to write them off because the team is coming from Bamenda with 95% of their players who are children of Bamenda. That means that is their village. They are playing for their village. They are playing for their community. They have the name of the village to defend. So I'm not going to write them off. I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory in favor of Manco United.
12 March is not far. We are going to see if this prediction will come to pass. Before you go, your last words.
Right. So Lisa, thank you very much for giving us the visibility that we have. Thank you very much for talking about the Northwest Regional League. We will always be available to talk about it anytime you call. Thank you very much. Thank everybody, all the viewers of the program, and to see that the Northwest Regional Football League is coming around. It is the best league in the world. Always follow us, and then you are going to enjoy football, all talents from the region. Thank you.
Thank you very much equally for why not answering our call when we had to place it, and one order equally to get development so far of what has been happening in terms of preparations of the Northwest Regional League. See you on another edition of Sportbox on Royal Television. It was a pleasure having you. And yes, you heard from the horse's mouth in J. Nelson, Communication Director of Faker Food Northwest, and equally board member of the Northwest Regional Region Football League, who was giving us updates in every dimension of what is happening so far in terms of the 2025-2026 football season. Mind you, the Southwest Regional equally will be launched on the 14th of March 2026, and equally the topic remains the same. The two regions are going to be launching their league. What are you expecting? What are you envisaging to see in this particular league? And with me here in the studio is there is a solo, the number one sportman here in the Southwest region. He's always everywhere at the right time to give you whatever it takes in terms of the sports domain. Good evening to you, there is a solo, and welcome to Sportbox. And equally, thank you very much for always saying that Sonny, I'm going to be present whenever I call.
Good evening to you, Sonita. Good evening to all the viewers. It's always a pleasure to talk about sports every day. Unfortunately, you're calling me at a time when other duty calls. I just have to squeeze in 1 or 2 minutes to be with you today because basketball is something that I also follow a lot. Yeah. And presently we're having a crucial basketball tournament that is ongoing. I think you can get from my voice the shouting has really been.
How many strikes did we have today?
We've had 2 games already.
Okay.
And the 2 games have produced fireworks. Bamenda Spartans played against Volcanic Warriors. There are 2 teams, Volcanic Warriors Boya and Volcanic Warriors Recreational. So the game that just finished was the Bamenda Spartans, who defeated Volcanic Warriors Recreational and other activities that were ongoing. So it was a good game because a lot of people were supporting Volcanic Warriors. I was like the only one supporting the Spartans, and I had to be very much cheering the boys from the stands. So
it looks like you're the coach today.
Yeah, it looks like I was the coach of the game today, but it shows the passion that we have for basketball. You know, when we talk about sport in the Southwest region, most of the time it's about football. You talk about the regional league, you talk about the interquarters. But when it comes to basketball, it needs a visibility equal like football. So we're happy that everything is going on well. We have teams from the West region, Beko Haj. We have teams from Kumba, Night Ballers who are beating. In the first game,
and I was waiting for them.
Yeah, they were beating almost 20 points difference in that particular game by Kingdom Force of Libe. The third game is ongoing. The second team of Boya, that's Volcanic Warriors of Boya, is presently playing their game. So the last game will be coming up from about 6 p.m. or so. So it's very, very important that we also give visibility. We were talking about the launching of the exercise.
Just a quick one, and equally to tell our viewers that the basketball tournament is going to run from the 6th right up to the 10th of March. Yes,
it's going up to the 6th, but the final will be on Sunday. On Monday will be a 3x3, and equally the women's football competition equally. It's important that we equally cheer basketball. Kudos to the president for Semimbela and the whole other presidents who are very much participating in the competition. You know, you talked about football and you talked about the Northwest. I like what my colleague G. Nelson said. Football should be played in the pitch and not in the offices. You know, the accusation that is always showed to officials in the Southwest region is the fact that football is mostly played in the office and not in the field. By the time the regional league starts next week, they'll tell you, I don't want to call the name, but they'll tell you this is the team, and you'll be surprised that is the team that will reach and that will qualify.
Maybe the narratives are going to be different this year.
Like I'm just using an example from what Engineer said, that football should be played on the pitch, because when it's played on the pitch, see what happened a couple of days back, Sonita. The image that even Samuel Etofis retweeted, a massive crowd
in the Northwest.
So Sonita, Southwest is known for that. Gymnast was talking about Bamenda, the best league. I'm like,
smiling.
Yeah, you're smiling because the Southwest is noted for that.
Yeah, you can.
It's not today. So it's just because of football being played in the office that the narrative that people have. That's why you see a lot of times the stadium is not full and so on and so. But if this year we allow the game to be played on the pitch, I'm not saying that is how it has been done. We're just doing the narrative and what many people have in their mind. So I'm expecting a good tournament. My only problem is that I had in mind to go to Bamenda to watch the launching. Sadly, the launching is coming up on a Thursday in Bamenda, which will be somewhere else in that particular. But hopefully we'll have time to go to Bamenda because, you know, it's all about making sure that our viewers our listeners get to also see the picture.
What's happening in Birmingham?
It's not about us talking about the Southwest, also telling our listeners and viewers what is happening in Birmingham.
Definitely, you can say that again, and equally to tell you or remind you that this particular year for the Northwest Regional League is going to comprise of 30 teams, while that of the Southwest is comprised of 24 teams with about
I think the listeners and the viewers why the number is at this level. Remember, the number was more than what we have at the moment.
Yeah,
the reason why we're having a lesser number is because the team did not affiliate. You're talking about the aspect of licenses. If a team does not request for the license, what do you blame? Do you blame the federation, and you blame the league, or blame the clubs? You blame the clubs. So the teams did not affiliate, and that is why we have this number that we have. The only issue that we also have to tell the viewers, you know, when you look at the previous resolution that was taken last year, by the end of last year, you might see a difference of name. Remember, Temster Foundation was promoted from Manu Division. Surprising, Temster is not there, but there's a different name which is called Manu United FC. There is also a Manu FC. Remember, Manu did what they did last year, but luckily for them they qualified because one of the team in their group was given general forfeiture, so they were not relegated, but they were a great contender for the relegation last year, but they were promoted. So you see two teams, Manu FC and Manu United FC. The reason why Manu United is there, probably there was no reason given at the moment, but I am basing my argument on the fact that Temster was not affiliated, and so probably there was an opportunity for another team in Manfe or in Manu to participate in the team, and Man United say, okay, I am ready, and they are affiliated. So that is why you see a difference of, well, we were asking, where is Temster, where is Manu? Man United was not there. Is it that they want to do cheating also? No, it's not cheating. Probably it's because Temster did not affiliate, and equally Man United decided to participate.
And yes, we heard other teams like the likes of BLM Warriors and other teams from other divisions who were dropped out because at the start when the first list came out, we were talking about more than 30 or so teams. But in terms of the last groupings, we know that the draws have already been done. We are having a total of 24 teams with 6 teams in each pool. And away from the Northwest launching and the Southwest launching, looking at the Southwest Regional League polls, which one is the dead pool? Let's talk about Pool A.
No. I'm going to talk about Pool A. I'm going to talk about Pool B also. To me, I think that I have two pools that are very, very difficult to actually come out. The reason why I'm talking about Pool A is because Pool A has a perennial team inside, and that is Besters Academy of Limbe. We know that we've seen the Besters for like how many years. You know, unfortunately, Besta has the way they do their thing, and they don't want to
get out of the trap.
Yeah, they don't want to play elite level, because to me, Besters Academy of Limbe should be in the elite championship.
Not something we should be talking about today.
Yes, but I think that the way the president Jofan Sachinen wants the club to be is to be a training facility, to be a team that sells players, and that is why you're seeing them now just participating in the regional league without participating in the elite championship. So Besters is a team that I've been following for some time now. I think that this year Besters Academy, they have a lot of young players. If you look at the players that played last year, most of the time they are not the same players. A lot of under 18, under 16. There's definitely a transition that they've been doing. And if you look at Besters, to me, Besters should be one of the contenders of the league this year. If they don't get to the semi-final, they'll get to the final. Why? Because look at the teams and the preparation. Besters has one of the best preparations that any team can ever have.
Just to cut you short, do you know that 5 months ago, Besters had already registered or already had 25 licenses?
And it's no joke. You know, when this team has 30 licenses, I begin to ask myself a question: what is happening with other teams?
Thank you.
Besters at the end of by the start of the championship, you have about 30 or more licenses, and they start seeing on that team with even 1 license, 2 licenses, and so you're asking yourself, well, what is the problem? Because Besters does his business before the season starts. As the season is ending, Besters already making sure for the next season. And the reason why I say so is because Remember, Barca is participating in so many competitions. The December tournament finished, the Patrice Berthaud tournament that is coming up in Douala also, and the Limbe tournament they've been participating, all of under 18, a lot of. So there's in so many competitions.
People will wonder why they always call the likes of some players from the academy.
Yes, and it was no surprise for us to see one of the players called up in the Indomitable. So, and somebody was asking me, why is it that they're going to call a local based player? Ask them a simple question. In all the regional league clubs, who has been so outstanding at the moment without going to Bestas and this other guy from Douala, one of the regional leagues from Douala? Yeah, from Douala. So these are
from Galactic.
These are personalities who are performing. I want to see persons who are performing being called either the under 17
or the club itself is consistent.
And they played the under 17, they won the under 17 AFCON, and they were the best players of the tournament. So I don't have any problem with this particular side, maybe in singular being called to the local based players. The other team that I've been tracking equally, remember, is a team that I hold dear, talented from Muluka. Talenta was the standout team last year. They reached the semi-finals, and nobody saw this team reaching that particular level. And I believe that they're going to show a good show in this particular season. Pool B is quite challenging because Pool B has Elexpo, and if you look at Elexpo is a side that has been very much preparing for like how many years. We know what happened to them last year. We don't want to go into the polemics of what transpired with Elexpo last year. But the only thing I'm happy is the fact that they decided to continue to play the league.
Very important.
Because another time you would have been expecting maybe Elexpo to go back and to say, oh, no, we're not going to participate in the league. Another reason why I see Pool B to be quite a challenge is because Senior Dev had a bad season last year. One of the worst seasons I've ever seen with Senior Dev was last year. And I think that is a side that we really want to come back to play well this year. And don't be surprised that the challenge, Al Jazeera had a bad season equal, even though they played well, but the season did not really materialize like what they expected. And so I think that in this Pool B, I'm expecting the Elexpo, Senior Dev, and equally Al Jazeera to be the challengers, while in Pool A definitely Fako United is going to be there, Talent is going to be there. You are
not seeing Mount Cameroon as a threat. Remember, they are coming back into this particular competition.
I don't see Mount Cameroon as a threat, not because they are not a threat, but because of the preparation.
Okay.
Mount Cameroon, the reason why I keep asking is the fact that how many games were played in the Fako Divisional League? How many games did they play before they got to the final to meet Summer Sport when they won that particular game? Also because I've not yet had time to see the players.
They have been playing friendlies.
Friendly games are not really.
It's a channel for preparation.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a channel for preparation. But when we talk about competitive games, you can't really talk about Mount Cameroon at the moment. And the reason why I don't see Mount Cameroon to be that much of a problem is because I think that they're going to be fighting relegation. I'm not a prophet of doom, but I just think that they're going to be fighting with Ates. Ates had a surprising season last year. Many were thinking that they would fight relegation, but yeah, they were up. So
and mind that those games were played simultaneously.
Yes.
So this coach is calling, bro, what is happening in Moliko Sports Stadium? And I tell him that, bro, it's getting bad. He tells his boy, please amplify. And we've taken too much time to talk about the Northwest and the Southwest regionally. A quick one. We've been procrastinating the WAFCON, and yesterday the president of CAF, Patrice Motsepe, has announced that the Women African Cup of Nations has been postponed to July, right up to August. There is a sono effect of this particular postponement, and looking at the trainings of the various nations that are going to be participating in the competition.
Well, Sonita, I don't think that it was much of a surprise to many, even though it caught a lot of people off guard with respect to the postponement. You know, there's been a lot of worry and question as to whether Morocco still hosts the competition because of the way they finished the Men's Africa Cup of Nations, and people were like, is Morocco going to host? Are they going to host? What is going to be happening? To me, I think that it's better to postpone even till December
No, you cannot say that. Remember, remember that qualification has to also deal with the World Cup.
No, I understand.
Okay.
Let me explain. The reason why I say even if it's postponed to December, I'll not be having a problem. It's better we prepare than to fail. Remember, just next week or so, the women's AFCON had to get underway.
Yes.
How many teams were prepared? Cameroon recently was given a promotion. Are they ready? Cameroon doesn't have a coach. So
they are ready. You cannot say that. So what is Dominica doing there?
Remember
she has organized 2 friendlies.
Yeah, 2 friendlies.
With 1 victory, 1 defeat.
Yeah, I understand. So, but what I'm talking about is that are we really ready? Cameroon is not ready.
No, to me. Talking to her in Yaoundé during the first leg against the Super Falcons of Nigeria, she said that yes, it's a manual to see if the girls are actually understanding what she's asking them to implement. And as it stands now, she thinks she can go into the competition and bring something.
She can go into the competition and bring something. Let's be honest with ourselves, whether we like it or not.
Are we looking at the number of months that they sat without?
No sentiment as attached. I'm being
Ngome said it last week that we should not be going into that particular competition. If we had to start on the 10th, like how a lot of people were podcastinating, we should not go with a lot of high expectations. Rather, we should be going in
just to build. Just to make sure that we go out of the group. Because if we don't go out of the group, then it's really bad because we don't qualify for the women's.
Then he spoiled it by saying that he was not even sure that we were going to get 4 points.
No, he's being realistic. Look at the second game. Yes, a lot of people are taking solace in the fact that we won Nigeria 1-0. But look at the second game. That is what told us that Cameroon is not ready because of that.
Okay, I put it to you, boys and Sono. With just the local team and local players from the Guinness Super League, do you think that we need a blend to tell ourselves that, and to play more friendlies, to tell ourselves that we can go into this competition coming July?
If we don't come out of the group stage now that the WAFCON has been postponed, I think that we sack the interim coach also.
That's harsh.
No, let's be honest with ourselves. Because now we have ample time to prepare.
Yeah, very
like
correct.
I said,
for all countries.
Yes, for all countries. I'm not talking about only Cameroon. I'm looking at all the countries where they really prepared for the start of the championship. Infrastructure-wise, are they ready? All those things, it doesn't suffice or just saying that we'll start the competition tomorrow. No, a lot of things have to be put in place. For us to have a successful competition. WAFCON is a big competition like the AFCON. We don't have to take it lightly. We don't have to just say, okay, no, let's go about this like that without putting all these things into play. So I think that this postponement, to me, I'm okay with it. The reason why, because it gives the teams, not only Cameroon, ample time for them to prepare, to get the acts together, so that they fine-tune what was needed from now, March, April, May, June. That is how many months. It means that we can fit in about how many friendly games to get our girls ready for the competition. Also, we need to get our acts together. Yes, if we are going with Mike Josephine, we indicate that we are going with Mike Josephine. We don't start calling her interim coach. No, we call her the coach of the Indomitable Lionesses. We don't come again like what happened. Yeah, like what happened with Jose Brandoko, and then we go to
nothing, nobody.
So, these are things that don't make the team to be on a good footing. But like I said, if we're going with Mike Josephine, please let's confirm her. There's no need calling her the interim coach. We call her the coach, give her the support, give her anything that she needs. And if she doesn't bring us a result, then we start thinking, okay, do we go with her or do we not go with her? And then we look at more ways to modernize the squad. So I think that is even though it's bad because some teams have been preparing. A couple of teams have been preparing also for the start of the competition. Now they have to go back, start putting a lot of financial things into play, which costs also a lot, because you bring the teams or the players, you have to give them the bonuses and the other things have to go with the teams coming into camp. So it is a lot of logistical headache to some teams who have been preparing.
Definitely.
But to other teams, I think that they'll be very happy that it has been postponed.
Definitely. And we having the likes of Cape Verde, who was eager to why not start her debut in terms of this particular competition. And boys, we are getting out of the studio. But before you go, Hilltop Strikers and Mancon United in terms of Thursday 12 March 2026 at the Bamenda Proximity Stadium. Your prediction for that particular game?
I don't want to talk about me having an affiliation, but I think that I might be having an affiliation to Hilltop Strikers also. I don't know, it's like me and Ginesi.
Did you guys connive?
No, not really. The reason why I say so is because I followed Hilltop Striker for some time now.
Okay.
And when they came to Limbe, remember Limbe hosted the the National Interpol, I bet to say.
Yeah, with the year United.
Yeah, and Hilltop Striker was one of the sides that I really had hope that they would go. Unfortunately, they didn't go. Last year, I didn't really see them well because they didn't have a good season. But what Ginesi is saying that they just coming to participate means I have to start looking for another club to support, because they just want to participate like most teams in the Southwest. You interview a coach here in the Southwest. What is your objective for the year?
Let's just see how the games.
So all those things are really. But I like how the mobilization has been going on with Mankong United. They call themselves the Manchester United of Bamenda.
Okay.
I like how they've been preparing. I've been trying to follow some details from our colleagues, engineers and Afesia on the preparation of this particular team. So I think Mankong United is going to be a team that to watch out for. But for the game next week, I think Hilltop Striker might just have an edge in the game.
Scoreline 2-1-0-0. 5-0.
No.
Remember what happened? 18 not last year.
No, it's not going to be how Getafe defeated Real Madrid by 1-0. It's not going to be like that case.
Why will you not talk about Barcelona's defeat? Despite scoring 3 goals, they couldn't qualify. You will not give straight bullet to Real Madrid, and to tell you equally, Real Madrid will be playing tonight. So get ready.
Yes. But I think there's going to be a 2-1 victory for Hilltop Strikers.
2-1 according to Boris. And yes, and equally to tell you that Amadou B. Ibrahim and alongside Wiba Grace visited Samuel Eto'o at the Feka Foot head office there in Tinga Yaoundé to why not present to him their trophy after the 26 Mount Cameroon Race of Hope. Thank you very much, Boris Esono, for answering present. It's always a privilege to have you on set.
Thank you very much, Sonita. We take the rendezvous for next week, hopefully, God willing. But don't forget that the Kumbasi Football Club has a game this weekend against Avion Academy. The side is going for the 6th straight victory in the Elite 2. They have a game against Avion Sunday, GPS Cofield, 3 p.m. And
you wouldn't want me to tell you that, or to rather throw some flowers to Mbambo Moses for the great job that he's doing. I will have to do that. I mean, like Boris said, it's 5 games, 5 victories, 15 points into the pocket. That's a new trend now for footballers. When you win the game, they do like this and they do like this. So if your team has to win today, you do like this and you pocket the 3 points. And yes, I will call it to tell you that just like what Boris said, Kumba City will be playing Avion Academy here in the Kumba, and we have the likes of Batman United that will clash against Bambutus of Buddha, Rasan against Tone, Aratik of Quibi against Union Sportif of Douala, Eddie Sport against Lazasio, while RS Fab will clash against Apajas of Mfu, not forgetting the likes of Ngakatunjong against Sablo the betting. And yes, it is with these particular fixtures of the MTN Elite 2 Championship Match Day 6 that we get to tell you that it's time for us to pack our load and go to the stadium, get more football updates and bring to you. But before we take leave of you, we want to say thank you very much to Nevis Abiaka for making sure that we are on set live and direct. And equally we had support from Mr. Buba Sali, the likes of Mr. Asama. And yes, it's a bye-bye from my end to yours. Remember the name, Nguni Sonita. Bye-bye.